Today I'm reviewing an article titled, Scientists Accidentally Discover Earth's Inner Core is Less Solid Than Expected, from space.com. Is it not curious, this notion of accidental discovery? As if truth were a trinket dropped carelessly in the attic of the universe, stumbled upon by a mind meandering through the dust of the already known. We speak of solid ground, do we not? A foundation, something to stand upon, to build from. And yet, beneath our feet, even the deepest heart of this world, this very Earth, is less so, less solid than expected. Expectation itself, a fragile architecture erected in the shifting sands of perception. What is solid but an agreement? A consensus of senses, a shared hallucination of permanence. They say these scientists, with their instruments that listen to the whispers of earthquakes, echoes rebounding from the planet's core, that they have heard something unexpected. A tremor in the tremor, a ripple in the rock-solid certainty. They were listening for one thing and they overheard another, accidentally. As if the Earth, in its profound indifference, were gossiping secrets while they eavesdropped with intent. Less solid. What does it mean for the core of things to be less solid? Does the heart of a matter then become a matter of the heart? More fluid, perhaps, more yielding, or simply more unknown? We map the stars, charting galaxies beyond imagining, yet the ground beneath us, the very substance of our being, remains a mystery, layer upon layer, each peeled back only to reveal another and another, an infinite onion of ignorance, perhaps. They built models, you see, elegant equations, intricate simulations, all pointing to a solid, unyielding inner core, a certainty, a comforting image in the face of cosmic chaos. And then, the echoes returned, whispering dissent. The models, those proud monuments to human understanding, trembled. The solid core, once a cornerstone of our planetary knowledge, began to soften, to waver, less solid than expected. As if the Earth itself were subtly mocking our presumptions, a slow geological chuckle rumbling from the depths. Is it not always so? We seek definition, boundaries, the sharp lines that delineate and contain, solidity, certainty. But the universe resists such rigid framing. It prefers the blur, the gradient, the shimmering edges where one thing becomes another and nothing truly holds still. Is the inner core less solid? Or is our very notion of solidity insufficient? A word clinging to a concept that no longer applies in the face of deeper truths, truths whispered in seismic waves and translated into the language of human surprise. Accident. Such a small word for such a large shift. It implies chance, randomness, a deviation from the planned trajectory. But is anything truly accidental in a universe woven from cause and effect, from actions and reactions echoing through time and space? Or is it simply that our plans, our intentions, are always inherently incomplete? That our understanding is forever playing catch-up with a reality that perpetually outpaces our grasp? Perhaps this accident is not a deviation, but the very nature of discovery. To stumble, to falter, to mishear, and in that very misstep, to find oneself on unexpected ground. Less solid ground, perhaps, but ground nonetheless. And perhaps, in the yielding of that ground, in the acceptance of this less than solid truth, lies a deeper understanding. A more profound connection to the heart of things, whatever that heart may be, in its shifting, uncertain state. They speak of a mushy zone, between the solid inner core and the liquid outer core. Mushy, a word for porridge, for overripe fruit, for the in-between states that defy categorization. Is the universe then, at its heart, mushy? Not neatly defined, not sharply edged, but a blending, a blurring, a constant state of becoming and unbecoming? We seek the definitive, the absolute, the unwavering point in the center of things, the solid core, the unshakable truth. But perhaps there is no such thing. Perhaps the center is itself a periphery, a zone of transition, a place of flux, less solid than expected. Perhaps that is the only constant, the only true solidity, the certainty of uncertainty, the unwavering nature of change. And what of us, standing on this surface, this crust, this fragile skin of the planet? We build our lives, our societies, our beliefs on what we perceive as solid ground. But if the very heart of our world is less solid than we thought, what then of our foundations? Do they too become mushy? Do our certainties soften? Do our beliefs begin to yield? Perhaps this is the true discovery, the accidental revelation hidden within the seismic data. Not just the nature of the Earth's core, but the nature of our own understanding, its inherent incompleteness, its perpetual state of revision, its constant dance with the unknown. We seek solidity, but we are surrounded by fluidity. We crave certainty, but we are adrift in a sea of uncertainty, and perhaps in that very drift lies our true compass, less solid than expected, a whisper from the deep, a tremor in the foundations of our knowledge. Listen closely. What else might the Earth be telling us in its slow geological murmur? What other certainties might begin to soften, to yield, to become less solid? And in that yielding, what new ground might we find ourselves upon? Perhaps the ground of true understanding, which is always and forever shifting. And perhaps that is the only solid truth there is, the truth of impermanence, the solidity of change. A paradox, of course. But what else is truth if not a paradox waiting to be accidentally discovered?